Hi guys, we were at the Cairo Museum on December 27th, 2022. You can see the people queuing up outside the gates of the museum, waiting for their turns to get in. The museum had these two Sphinx statues in front. That is Tsuyoshi, our tour manager. That's my friend Shubrato waving at us. Cairo Museum was a busy place on 27th December. You can see people coming from all over the world. It remains always busy for that matter. Cairo Museum has a wonderful collection and I really loved it, every minute of it. Cairo Museum, or the Egyptian Museum, has over 120,000 items. This is a statue of a pharaoh with his left foot forward. This building was built in 1901 in Tahrir Square in Cairo, Egypt. And that is the bust of the Greco-Egyptian god Serapis. And this is the bust of an imperial lady. This is the map of Egypt, showing the Nile River clearly dividing Egypt in east and west. And this is a sarcophagus, a stone box-like thing which usually housed the mummies. You can think of it in this way: one mummy, many coffins. The numerous layers of coffins around the mummy functioned as a repeated images of the deceased, but also as a protective capsule. There are intricate inscriptions and carvings on the sarcophagus and the coffins. The methods of embalming or treating the dead body that the ancient Egyptians used is called mummification. Using special processes, the Egyptians removed all moisture from the body, leaving only a dried form that would not easily decay. It was important in their religion to preserve the dead body in as lifelike a manner as possible. They were so successful that even today we can view the mummified body of an Egyptian and have a good idea of what he or she looked like 3,000 years ago. This is the main hall room which you come across when you enter the Egyptian Museum. It may look large and sprawling, but it is in fact inadequate for the number of artifacts which they still have in store and which are not on display. Statue of Amenhotep Pharaoh. And this is a king kneeling down. There were so many artifacts and statues, and labeling was not always present. Guys, if you know about any of the things that you see here, feel free to write in the comment box. And this is Pharaoh Pepi I, the third king of the 6th dynasty of Egypt. And this is Ranefer, the high priest of the 5th dynasty. And this is Mentuhotep II, the 6th ruler of the 11th dynasty. He reunited Egypt, thus ending the first turbulent period. He was the first king of the Middle Kingdom. He died in 213 BC. This is Nofret II, an ancient Egyptian queen of the 12th dynasty. She was a daughter of Amenemhat II and wife of Senusret II. This head belonged to a statue that represented Hatshepsut as Osiris, god of the underworld. A child posing with his mother and brother in front of a sphinx statue. The detailed, intricate paintings are so fresh, as good as new. This is a wooden casket which contained the coffin, which again contained another coffin maybe, within which the mummy lied. A mummified infant child. The mummification process happens step by step. Embalming the body, removal of the brain, removal of internal organs, drying out the body, and finally wrapping the body. To remove the brain, a hook was inserted through the nose and the embalmers pulled out as much as they could. Next, a small slit was made on the side of the abdomen, and the liver, the lungs, the stomach, the intestines were all removed. Each of the organs were then individually mummified and stored in 4 canopic jars, one for each of the organs. The heart was kept inside the mummy. The body was covered in a kind of salt called natron for 40 days to dissolve body fats and absorb the moisture. Linen was used to pad out the cavities, and the body was treated with herbs, oils, and resin. And this is Anubis, the god of death and afterlife, found in Tutankhamun's tomb. These are some of the articles which were found in Tutankhamun's tomb. Tutankhamun's tomb was found in the Valley of the Kings, which I shall cover later in another video. Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered in 1922, exactly 101 years ago, by famous Egyptologist Howard Carter. Tutankhamun's tomb was one of the best preserved pharaonic tombs ever found. More than 5,000 objects were discovered. Despite 2 ancient robberies, the Tutankhamun's tomb became hidden from gravediggers because of flooding. This is the famous golden chair used by Tutankhamun. Golden throne, to be precise. After seeing some of the objects of Tutankhamun's tomb, we moved on to another wing of the museum, where rows and rows of mummies of unidentified and not so famous people could be found. Now we come to the most famous pair of mummies kept in the Egyptian museum, those of Yuya and his wife Tuya. Yuya was a powerful ancient Egyptian courtier during the 18th dynasty of Egypt, about 1390 BC. This label describes Yuya's mummy and his arthropod coffin. He was married to Tuya, an Egyptian noblewoman associated with the royal family. Tuya was the great-grandmother of Tutankhamun. Their tomb was discovered in 1905. Most of the funerary objects were intact, maybe because the robbers were not so interested in the mummies of not so important people. Tuya's outer arthropod coffin was richly gilded. This is Yuya's mummy. The arms are bent with his hands placed under his chin. The left hand is fisted while the fingers of the right are extended. That was a pretty exhaustive video. What do you think? If you have liked it, do not forget to give a thumbs up and share among your friends. And please do subscribe to my channel and do not forget to press the bell icon if you want to receive notifications in the future from me. Bye bye. Take care.